Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to see conditional rendering using if true false directive. What we're going to talk about in this part is what is a directive, how to render a LWC template conditionally, and then we can talk about the example of if condition for the true one, and then we talk about the if condition for the false one for directive. So let's see what is a directive. So directive are a special HTML attribute that Lightning Web Component programming model have. There is a few directive which we use to get a data in HTML template by JS. So we are going to use today. We're going to look into the if true directive and if false directive. So how to render a LWC template conditionally? To render a HTML conditionally, add the if true or if false directive to the nested template tag as an attribute that enclose the conditional content. So you can see there is a syntax for true one where template, and after that we add the one attribute and the value is as expression. And in that template we show the true part. Same goes for the false directive. In the template we have a attribute as a if false key and then a value as an expression. So me even the expression is false. Let's see a few examples of a if true and if false conditions. So let's open a VS Code. Yeah, so we open a VS Code. Let's create a one LWC component for that by clicking a Control Shift P. Create a Lightning Web component. Let's name that as a rendering conditionally in LWC. You can see the component is created. So let's switch that into part. So we switch it into two part. So let's create condition for true one by creating a one lightning card with the title. Let's say give it true directive example, and with let's give a one icon name. Let's say custom 2. Let's give one a div class slds m around medium padding. In that we can pass button. On clicking that button the true directive will show. slds button, slds button brand. On click true handler and let's give the button name as a true directive. Let's give a one nested template for a true one which we want to show while clicking on the button. If true, we want to check that true text should be true, should be in the expression, and we can this text belong to true directive. Okay, so we created that HTML part. Let's go to the JS one, and let's say first we true directory. Let's pass a comment for that, and let's say our true text equal to false initially, but when true handler is called, we pass this dot true text equal to true. Let's check for the metadata file. We need to change anything. Yeah, we need to change. We make that true and pass the targets. So you can see I passed that targets in this. So let's deploy this component to our Salesforce org. Component is deployed. Let's open our org. We open our org and we have to add this component to our page. Let's click on the edit page. Okay, we got that. We will pass this below the assistant and let's save it. Let's go back and let's test it. While clicking that, you can see the true directive text is coming up. So if we go back to our VS Code, we can see while clicking that button, this button, while clicking that true directive button, a handler is called and this handler make the true text true. So this template is called. So let's see the another example for the false one. Let's pass one comment like false directive and we can pass HR so that for difference one. Let's copy the whole part and change that for only for the false directive. So we say that it's example of a false directive and let's say button with the custom 3 button. Around is okay and this is for the false handler. And we want to be false test and the condition should be if false to false directive. So we save that. Now we have to create this method and this text in the JS. So let's go in there and let's start our false directive code. So the first text equal to true initially because we don't want to show this part. So we want to initially to be a true, but when the button is clicked, we just want to be a false so that our this text belong to the false directive will show. False handler is clicked at that time this dot text become true. Let's save it and deploy it. Okay, you can see the successfully deployed. Let's refresh the page. Okay, you can see the false directory example is also come up. So if I click on that, okay, I think I did not change the name. Let's change the name to the false one. Okay, let's change the name to the false and let's deploy it to the source org. Okay, so you can see the false directories come up there. So while when I click on this false directory, okay, side, okay, I forgot to change that to be false. So let's deploy it again. Let's go to the org. Now let's test it. So this test belongs to the false directive. So how it is working? We have a one method on the button. When the button is clicked, at that time the false text become a false, and it will show the false directive template. So this is how we can work on the conditions in the LWC using if else, if true and if false directive. Okay, thanks for watching this. In the next part, we talk about the iterator directives. For more, like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.